Are you too young or are you too old to start a new life? Do you know that this is the question what people ask themselves so often? Or they actually tell themselves, no, I am too young to start something, too young to start a decent job, too young to start a business, too young to go into relationships with a person whom they really, really love. And also, did you know how many people actually tell themselves that they are too old to go into the new relationships or too old to leave unhappy relationships or too old to start a new business, to leave their job because things are not secure when you start your own business? Unfortunately, there are so many limiting thoughts in people's heads when it comes to their age. And we know so many success stories from celebrities, from famous people, from actors, from really amazing, those overachievers who did something amazing in their life once they decided so. So I wonder, shall we actually go into this open discussion? Because I would love to hear your success stories today. I would love to hear where are you based, and I would love to hear what tips would you tell yourself if you would be young again. Please share your age. Please share what exactly you started doing, when did you start doing, and what actually prompted you, because I will be speaking about all of that today. And I'll keep it very short today so we can have a quick lunch together. Well, you'll have quick lunch and I'll be actually sitting here talking to you, reading your amazing comments and your amazing stories. So please share with me, where are you based, what are you up to, and what are you doing now? And I can see Nick actually sharing, I started my new life at 48 and it's great. And I know Nick personally, he is a very positive person. Thank you, Nick, for sharing your comment. Really appreciate that. And if you don't mind, Nick, could you please elaborate again to the limit which you are happy to share? What exactly prompted you? Because I would like people who are watching us right now to get inspired by others. Right? And the reason why I decided to make this video in general is because so many clients of mine, when they come to tell me these limiting beliefs, I feel I'm too young or I feel I'm too old. And I must say, so far, my clientele was coming all the way from 18-year-old to 73-year-old client, right? So you can see that the age range is quite big, but that's simply because people come to me asking this question, Olga, do you think it's already too late? Do you think it's too early? And I must say, with the youngest participant in my audience of being 15 at my event, it is quite remarkable how much you can achieve. I still stay in touch with that participant and actually I'm quite amazed how successful he is. Some people say, yes, of course he is because he is so young, but I always say, no. It's not because he's young, because he has something what all of us forget about, but we also have. All right. So let's go into this discussion. I see Shashikan joined me as well from India. This is one of my regulars as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Very excited to meet an energetic mentor from India. Yes, here I am with, of course, full of energy because I'm here to serve and I'm here to inspire. But let me go first of all to the reason of why I decided to do this video. A part of my clients asking me this question, whether it is too early or too late for them to start their exciting journey. The reason is, and those who know me already, you probably know this story about my dad dying when he was 24, right? That was literally just 2 weeks after the wedding when he was going back home from work. And my mom, she just found out that she's pregnant. Right? My mom, she didn't have back then WhatsApp. She didn't have anything to inform my dad that she was pregnant. She was waiting for him. She was anticipating the great news because she knew that actually he'll be very excited because he was looking forward to have a baby girl. But unfortunately, he never came. He never came due to an accident. And that's something what happens in our lives. But you know what's interesting? Right now, I feel like I'm living my dad's dream because I travel a lot and his biggest dream was to travel around the world with family. So my question to you is, if you don't proceed with your dream, if you don't proceed with what you want to do, what you want to achieve, if you don't start those relationships, if you don't start that business, what if one day, just that one day, you will never come back home? Right? Think about it. That was the biggest lesson my dad taught me. Unfortunately, his death, rather himself, personally. But I must say, that really kicked my butt. And especially when I got 24, I realized right now, all right, I'm right at the age when my dad died. I need to make most of my life. Most. And I need to treat every day like a very special day. So here is the question. What do you think those super achievers are doing when they are starting what they wanted to start for years and years? Do you think they procrastinate, watch Netflix? Do you think they scroll Facebook all the time, liking some funny videos and things like that? Or, as long as I'm aware, they educate themselves. They educate themselves, they learn, but also they treat every day like that special day, which means now they have that extra day, which they can start from the fresh start. They can bring a new chapter into their lives, their businesses, or their relationships. So here's a tip number 1 for you. It's never too late or too early. It is about starting now. Because one day you might never come back home. One day you might never see your beloved person again. And one day you might not have opportunity to start your business again. So in order for you to really progress in your life, you better start now. There was never a better time than actually now. And the reason for that is because if you can really think about it, and I'm going to the tip number 2, if you can hold that in your head, if you can really think about that, if it's something what you can envision, imagine, or you can feel and sense, that means you have everything within yourself. You have those talents, you have those skills, you have everything within yourself so that you can do it. And of course, you might need to outsource extra skills, extra opportunities, extra things. But at the same time, because you can think of that, that means you are the best person who can do that. Think about it. How many people do you know who actually do something and you look at them and you think, wow, yes, you are at the right place, you are doing the right thing, you are in the right relationships because you two, you just suit each other, you are in the right business because you have the great qualities and skills, and for example, maybe even look for your business, right? Do you know some people like that? Well, guess what? They were doing after what was actually possible in their mindset. And very often, I must say, even myself sometimes, I'm thinking, can I really do that? And then I go back to the tip number 2. If you can think about it, if you can envision that, if you can feel it, you can do that, right? Before I go to the tip number 3, let me just see what amazing and beautiful comments you have left here. And by the way, right now, we are going live amongst 3 platforms, which is LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you will not see some comments, that's simply because some of them are not visible on one platform or another, right? So I love the comment here from Nick Appleby. He says on LinkedIn, closed my business, left my marriage of 20 years, and moved from London to Yorkshire. Just decided that I needed a fresh start and to start doing things for myself for a change. Best thing I ever did. I learned so much about myself and others. Take care. Thank you, Nick, for sharing this. This is very brave, and I can so relate to you because it's exactly what I did when I was 24. But I really respect you. You did when you were 48. And this is really, really remarkable. To do something like this after 20 years of marriage, being 48, to move all the way from London, I think it's really brave. And everybody who's watching us right now, listen to this inspiring story. Nick is on LinkedIn. He shared this story. I'm sure those who are not sure whether I am in the right relationship, and as you know, because I also work on the mindset in terms of relationships, how to have the right mindset in order to save relationships, I'm the first person to start with, no, let's work first of all on the relationships, and then if it doesn't work out, to leave. So I'm not the advocate that you just need to leave your relationships without trying. But if you feel you tried literally everything, you and your partner don't want to be together, or maybe your partner doesn't want to be with you, in that case, look at Nick. He moved on, he left his location, he left his marriage, and now he is feeling very happy. Apparently learned a lot about himself, which is amazing. Thank you, Nick. This is really, really awesome example. And Maria, it's so good to see you. Hi, my darling. Maria is very regular. Good to see you here. That's on YouTube, actually. We have lots of people joining me from different countries, India and Brazil. This is amazing. I love that. And Howard, thank you so much for joining me. By the way, those who were watching my videos on daily basis, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm not sure if you heard the announcement recently or not, but right now I'm going live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Some shows will still appear on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but actually I'm slowing down a little bit because of other commitments which also came on board, of course, also as a result of doing these lives. So that means I'm going maybe less often, but at the same time will be even more value because the sessions will be more condensed. That means you will not have to take an entire hour from your day, but you will still have to will be actually able to have your lunch and learn something exciting with me on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But tomorrow I still have a session on Thursday, which will be quite exciting. So thank you so much, everybody who joined me. It's a pleasure to see you here. Alan, I absolutely love your comment here. Hi, I started 3 years ago. I'm now 62. My wife and I planned to build a strong business. How amazing is that? I love that. I really admire you for that. This is so exciting. Thank you so much for sharing this. This link, comment actually is on LinkedIn, those who would like to see that. Right, and you can, I'm sure, also connect with Alan and learn from him because this is really inspirational. Another comment here, super achievers do things differently, Shashikan. Thank you for saying this. Exactly. And that's why I share tip number 2, start now. And tip number 2, don't even go into discussions whether you can do it or not. If you can think about that, if that came up into your head, that means you can. You have absolutely everything within yourself to go after your dream, after your best relationships, after your best business, because you have that idea in your head. Nobody else has it, but you have, right? Because you have everything for that. And also, it did not come to you maybe 10 years ago, right? Or maybe you planted the seed 10 years ago and now you are harvesting the idea, which is much clearer, but that means start now. Back to tip number 1. All right. So yes, we have Roberto from Australia. That's great to see you again. Thank you so much for joining me. Maria, oh, I love your comment on YouTube. I have restarted my life from scratch 4 times. Wow, that is so inspirational. Every time you restart is with different knowledge and mindset. And this is so true. And by the way, Maria is coming onto my show as well, alongside other 2 amazing ladies. That will be next week. So please don't miss it. Make sure you can make it next week. It will be really exciting, and announcement will come very shortly. Ruth Owen. Hi, Olga. It's good to see you, Ruth. How are you? Good to see you here. Thank you so much for joining. By the way, Ruth also was on my show. If you just type on YouTube, Ruth Owen with W and Olga Geidane, you will see her absolutely amazing journey. And I also was on her podcast. Ruth is very inspirational. And Ruth, I would love to hear from you here if you could share with other people how inspirational your journey was, because Ruth is incredibly inspirational. So thank you so much for joining me here today. It's a pleasure to see you. So it's amazing I can see people from Pakistan as well. We are going international. I love that, seeing people from all over the world. Really, really love that. Amir, thank you so much for thanking me for the great tip. I'm really glad you actually value that. As you know, this is not a rocket science, but it's something what many people forget starting now. We all think about perfect day, but if you take a calendar right now, this moment into your hands, just take a calendar. It could be the paper calendar. It could be your online calendar. Open that and have a look. Do you see a day called one day? No. There's always a date and a month and a year, right? There's no such a thing as one day. And I must say here, I do use a trick with my own subconscious sometimes, especially when I was going through really challenging, emotionally difficult times. I remember telling myself, right now, I need to focus and deal with whatever I had to deal with. But one day I will be emotional about that. One day I'll be thinking about this more, and I'll be doing this self-pity, and I'll be overthinking this. One day I will do it. But right now I will focus on what is important for me to do today. You know what's interesting? That one day actually never comes, because you get distracted by what you have to do, and that day literally never comes, which I think is not even a really bad thing. I think actually it's something really good. I love comment from Lo Bochel from on Facebook. I hear you, Olga. My dad died at 44. That really got me when I turned 40. If my dad knew he had 4 years left to live, what would he have done differently? Bingo! Bingo! Lo, I love you. And by the way, Lo also was at my show. You definitely must type Lo Virtual and Olga Geidane on YouTube. But I must say, this is something really exciting. When you think after your loved ones passed away, what would they do differently? That really kicks your butt, right? Start thinking now, what actually can you do differently? And this question I ask very often my clients. So imagine you go to a doctor and doctor says you have only 3 days or 30 days to live. Okay, 3 days or 30 days, not to freak you out too much, right? What would you do? I'm sure you will do things differently. I'm sure you'll behave differently. I'm sure you probably will spend time with family. But in everyday's life, you don't. I'm sure probably you will call your boyfriend, call your girlfriend, call your wife and your husband and your parents, and you will tell them you love them. So why don't you do it now? That's a good question, right? But here is the thing. We all think we have infinity years. We all have infinity time. And this is not true. We have a very limited time. So we all should really appreciate this time, right? I love the comment from John Donnelly here on Facebook. Just started all over again at 62. You know, guys, I really love your brave stories here. It's amazing to hear your success stories. And I also know, just by the names, because some of you are my clients, some of you people whom I know, I can see you here and I can see you watching me right now, and I know your stories. I'm not going to call some names out, but I do know that you have so much inspiration behind your back. And I know that right now you're just not typing it, but it's fine. I respect that. But I just know that there are so many more people who actually really, really can inspire many others, right? And think about it. If you're a mom, if you are a dad, right, particular, or if you're a grandpa and grandmother, right, think about it. By you showing an example that you are stepping up for your own happiness, for your own dream, for your own commitment to yourself, what are you teaching your next generation, whether it is your children or your grandchildren? You actually are teaching a really valuable lesson. You're sharing with them that it's really important to put your dreams number one, to put your desires as number one. And here's a tip number 3. Again, let me just say this thing before we go into tip number 3. I'm not an advocate for becoming arrogant, to become disrespectful to other people, to only think about yourself and being narcissistic. This is not what I talk about. What I talk about is stop living somebody else's dreams and start living your own dreams. right? And I'm sure some of you heard this already before, and I'm sure some of you are already probably living this life already, but ask yourself again, 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 like literally right this moment, ask yourself, am I living my life to my full potential, right? What is stopping me? Right? What actually is stopping me to live my life to my full potential? Why I don't do it? And very often you will recognize you don't do it simply because you put other people, requirements, wishes, wants, and needs first before yours. You put everybody else above yourself, and as a result, you don't do whatever feels right for you, whether it is in your relationships and you don't end up with the right partner because you settle for what society says, a good girl and a good guy, or maybe you are staying in a healthy marriage, which is really, really soul destroying simply because, the divorce is it's such a shame you don't divorce because people will judge me, family will turn their backs at me, right? Think about yourself. Put yourself first for a minute and ask yourself a question. If I would put myself first, right? If I would have no choice to live any more longer than 3 days, what would I do differently? And I can guarantee you will put your feelings and your needs first. Maybe it will be, I'll sort out my inheritance for my children, but it's because you want to feel safe and you want to feel confident and certain that your family and your generations after you will feel good, right? So here, put yourself first. Put your desires first. Put your wants, put your dreams first. Okay, again, and once more, I want to really point that out. I'm not talking about being narcissistic. I'm not talking about being arrogant. I'm not talking about, being very selfish. All I'm talking about, stop putting other people's dreams first above yours. Right? I know so many of you, and because I know so many of you personally, I know how much potential you have. I know it, right? Because I work with some of you, or I worked before. I can see your names, right? And because I know that, I also know so many other people who are not my clients. They're watching this right now, and they are doubting themselves right now because they think, yes, but I need to maybe put my kids to school first of all, and then I can live my dream. Guess what? One day you might never come back home, and then there'll be no chance to follow your dream, to build your business, or to do whatever you wanted to do before, right? So let's remember, yes, respect other people and collaborate and compromise, but make sure when it comes to your life important decisions in terms of your business, your career, your life in general, your health, your relationships, make sure you double check with yourself whether that is suitable for you and your future self, rather just serving other people. And I've been there before myself. Look, guys, if you think everything was that easy for me and I was born with a silver spoon and I was born knowing all and that's why I live my life perfectly well, no. The answer is no. I had a very challenging past. I had very challenging relationships and a business life and a career life and life in general. My life was going up and down, right? I was a people pleaser. I was very shy. I never went after my dreams, and I was verbalizing or saying out loud what I wanted, who I wanted to be, or what I believe in, because I was trained to be a good girl, and I was trained to behave in a certain way so that would suit others. So I know the pain when you have this flashlight in front of you, when somebody just hits you with a sack and you feel like, whoa, I never lived my own life. I never been myself. I never went after what I always wanted. I know that pain, and that's why I'm so passionate about this, right? If I wouldn't know that pain, do you think I would care? If I wouldn't be so passionate about this, do you think I would be really so into helping my clients day in, day out, working internationally? No, I wouldn't be, because I wouldn't be able to relate. But because I can relate, because I know how many times I changed my life, coming all the way from Latvia to UK, changing my job from corporate world to giving out magazines by the train station without speaking English, without having any money, and now being able to work with clients internationally. If I wouldn't have done this journey before, I wouldn't be speaking in front of you right now. Right? So I know it is possible, but I know what is the price. The price is, and here's a tip number 4. We need to get rid of all those naysayers. All those, you can't do it, who do you think you are, you have nothing to say, you have nothing to do, everybody else already did it, you have no ideas, your ideas are stupid, you're an idiot, and everything else. I know we all heard it at some point in our lives, including me. And maybe one day we can do a session where actually you can literally ask me questions and I can share with you my life journey, right? Because I literally can relate to that as well. And if you think I haven't heard it because I look all confident, wearing red, which is an action color, very confident, then guess what? You are wrong. Because I also was hearing such things like, no, you can't do it. Who do you think you are? In fact, that is one of my best speeches, right? This is one of the most booked talks from me when actually I talk about who do you think you are, right? But here I managed to turn something really negative into something positive. Right? So let me finish my tip number 4 and I'll move on to tip number 5, which actually are really connected. So here, tip number 4, remove all those naysayers, right? Those people who don't support you, they should be not in your life. Like that simple, okay? Because if they don't support you, very often they do it out of their own insecurities to start with. Nothing to do with you. They're insecure within themselves because they are afraid once you become successful, you will leave them, you will not talk to them, you will turn your back at them, and they will lose you, right? So very often they're insecure, they don't want to lose you. They also might be just not feeling great if you succeed, but they don't. Right? So think about it. If you by any chance will make them somehow not comfortable, not confident, doubting themselves when you succeed, of course they're going to make sure they will not support you, right? And second thing, they're just afraid. They're just afraid you will overdo them, you will over succeed, and you will be so amazing. People will admire you, but not them. Right? But it again comes from a fear of being rejected, right? By other people, not just by you anymore, right? And especially it happens in relationships, right? And I've been there myself when I was told, who do you think you are, Olga? Who do you think will listen to you? Check out your English.